business, utilizing video, it's huge because it gives these people opportunity, man, to just second to being in person, it gives them an opportunity to know, like, and trust you and where your intent is and how you talk and how well you talk, how well you know your craft,
if it's not
how quality the video is.
It's not for you, right? And that's fine. It's okay that way. Versus like you talk about the blind date scenario where you talk to someone on the phone and all of a sudden you get to him like, oh man, I don't like the way this guy looks.
Yeah.
He's got too many tattoos. He doesn't wear a suit. He only wears t-shirts. Like, it just may not vibe with something. But if they can see you in Instagram or a YouTube video, I don't care about those things. The way he's talking matters more. I'm down.
Yeah, and when people say, here's what I will say. Video's for everybody.
Right.
Being you is what you got to be, right? Like, because like if you can be in person, you can be on video. You know what I mean? And when people think, well, like, I don't like this. I don't like how I look. I got a double chin or I got a, I'm like, oh, you're just, you, fucking you. You're just making it you. You're making it about you.
Yeah.
If you have a brand and a business and you've got something of value that people could benefit from, then you should be putting that out there so people can discover you and make a decision of working with you. And like, dude, how many people you guys can help? You know, but it's like, if you can be in person and have a conversation, you can be on video. But when someone says, hey, I can't be in a suit on video, I agree.
I can get down with that. Yeah.
But saying that video's not for you or certain things aren't for you, it's like, look, man, if you can interact with humans, then you can interact on social or through the web.
What else are you making excuses about? If that's your excuse, I mean, maybe this is a conversation ain't for you. Because
bro,
it's just, we've had
the rich guys that don't want to give any advice, or it's like, how, like, they're not humble. They're selfish as fuck.
Yeah, they don't want to. They're pulling a ladder up behind them. They don't want to tell anyone else.
100%. So
let's talk about. I'm going to talk about your coaching.
Yep.
So I think that's one of those things that I think you're out there on your Instagram. There's a lot of things you talk about. I don't think the coaching is as well known as everything else you do. Because from what I see is, it's the real estate, it's the public speaking, it's this, but the coaching thing I think is a little more private. And not private like you don't get it out there, but it's more one-on-one, right? I think maybe by design.
Yeah, so we have group coaching for realtors, right? So like within real estate, right? Like we've got a couple hundred realtors that work with us.
One second. I want to ask how you got into it. Was there people demanding it, asking you to do it? Or was it one of those things where, hey, I think I can do this. Let's try it. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, man, there's
Did you have a mentor to get you into that?
I mean, I have a mentor, Brian Shantosh.
Yep.
Marine Corps commander that I served with.
When you actually developed a way to monetize coaching, what was that day one like for you?
It's just a buddy of mine that said, hey, man, how are you not a coach?
Okay.
He's a coach.
Yep.
And I was talking shit about coaching. And he's like, what's so bad? I was like, dude, you just got a bunch of charlatans, man, a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Everybody's got it figured out. They're selling some bullshit. And he's like, yeah, man, but you're not a coach, so you're not helping the cause. He's like, are you the guy that like doesn't vote but bitches about politics? And I'm like, I see where you're going with it. And he's like, dude, look at your following on Instagram. And look at how many realtors work with you. He's like, do you know how many people are right in your immediate area that would probably love for you to coach them, but because you don't offer it, they don't know they can ask, and it's just not a service that's provided? I was like, yeah. I was like, so you want to help me set it up? He's like, like you'd walk me through it. You'd help me set it up. He goes, yeah, of course. I go, yeah. He goes, yeah. I go, all right, let's do it. He goes, cool. 12 grand, 12.5.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He's like, 12.5. I'll fucking. So I spent 12.5 to sit down with my buddy for an hour. And I made 150 grand my first week of coaching. So go figure,
worked out
money well spent. Right. Yeah. So this is where, like, when people talk about, how much something costs and how much time you're going to get, it's like, it's not so much time that you get, it's impact. And it's what you do with it. I sat down with a guy for an hour, cost me 12.5 for an hour. And I haven't needed to talk to him ever again about it. I've built my business out of it. I know the plays to run. It was just sitting down and talking about pricing and where pricing should be at and what I should be doing with it and how it's done. He just kind of showed me logistically why and how he does things, and that's what I took from him.
And that's that pressure, right? I just spent 12.5, I'm not going to let it go to waste, right?
Well, but it might have, because if whatever he shows me isn't for me, but that's what you roll the fucking dice, man.
Dice, and it's also the risk.
Dude, I spent 25 grand to sit with a guy for a weekend just to find out what I didn't want to fucking do.
Yeah,
but
it worked.
For me,
in a way, it worked.
For me, it's like it's eliminating things, right? So like, there's money invested in a business when you're really seeking high levels. When people see like the money I make or whatever, it's like, yeah, but there's money spent and there's money lost. But that money lost is research, man. It's like finding what you want, what you don't want.
Yeah.
But that one for 12.5, not only did I make my money back on that, and then some, it paid for the 25.
Yeah.
Toward the guy where I don't want to be something.
Big picture, it always works out.
It always works out when you're betting on yourself, but you got to be willing to spend money for it, man. So, I sat with him and. Yeah, man, I made about 150 my first week. And I do keep the one-on-one coaching. Like I talk about it on my stories. Some of you guys give me some shout outs, but I only coach about 20 people at a time. Because if I'm giving you one-on-one time and we're meeting once a week, There's only so many hours I can give
Let's
to
talk
that.
about our coaching. I want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, you're a pain in my fucking ass.
Right? I knew
good?
we'd get to that part.
So
I
you want
think
like a different version of like, oh, I love you so much. Like you want to clip that in?
which is
No, you're great.
alternate ending.
No,
Alternate ending.
and you're not. And for the record, I'm being funny. You're not a pain in my ass at all.
Of course. No, I want to talk about like the difference between a lot of your clientele is primarily realtors, right?
Realtors, lenders.
Yep.
I've got
in
you.
that industry.
Yep.
Okay. I'm different.
Yep.
Not in that industry. So I feel like I was more of a project. Different because it's different, right? And not everyone is individual.
Kind of like it's different, but it's super similar with how you acquire your business. Like how you go about acquiring your business is very similar to how agents go find buyers and sellers.
Sure. Let's talk about the progress.
Yep.
So we've been doing this now. Where are we at?
4 months, 5 months.
4 months in? Okay.
Yep. I want to say 6, so you can
6
pay me
years.
again.
We're at 6 years. It feels like fucking forever. No, let's talk about progress, man. Day one, right? When I started, I know what to expect.
Yep.
I know what I've gotten from it, but I want to hear like from your perspective.
Yep.
You know, what are some things you've seen me grow in, and what are some things I've forced you to grow at as a coach? Are there any?
So the one part where like you weren't what I expected, not that I expected this, you just don't know until you get into it. Contrary to what people probably think about you, you're way more open to criticism and advice than people probably think.
That's very fair. Yeah.
And that reminds me of myself because when people see me, I'm talking, I'm teaching, so I'm the know-it-all.
You got to figure it out. You're going, yeah.
But that's because I'm teaching the people that are asking me to teach them. So I'm the know-it-all. They don't see me in the rooms where I shut the fuck up.
Yep.
There's rooms where I shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right. And like when you're with me, like when we're speaking, I'm in the lanes that I'm speaking to you in. Like, no, man, you're great with criticism. I can just be myself with you. I can be like, nah, man, that's not how you. You shouldn't be fucking doing that. Here's why. And if like you're just so great at like not hearing the fuck word.
Yeah.
But just grabbing on to like, I see where he's getting, and like the other day I was texting you about an individual and I was just kind of probing you, asking questions and hey, and then I'm just asking you questions. Are you good with this? You're like, yeah, man, I'm good with it. I got an exit plan if I need it, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact that you knew what I was doing by just asking questions, you knew where I was going with it, lets me know you pay attention. So, the biggest thing for a guy like you is your character traits are very strong. Your intuition's good. You're open-minded. You're curious. You're capable of taking criticism. These are the character traits people need to be coachable.
Sure.
You're coachable. You're coachable, right? Like, and then on top of being coachable, you take action. Right. People are typically one or the other. They take action, they got it all figured out, and you can't coach them. They're just going to run themselves right into a fucking wall, and then eventually enough pain comes, and then they're coachable. Or you got people that are uber coachable and open-minded and taking criticism, but they're just not doing much, right? So it's really, man, when you can find folks that have a great, capacity for both, you're on a road for success. Yeah. And then from there, it's just about first couple months is just foundational of just laying out, hey, let's organize the business. What do we need logistically between CRMs and different stuff of just organizing the business and then figuring out what you need to be doing more of or putting somebody in your business to do for you,
which I think
so you don't have to.
That was one of those things too I learned, like there's certain things I'm just not going to do.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yep.
But doesn't mean they don't have to be done. They have to be done.
Yep.
So it's put someone else in that spot that can do that, right?
100%.
Here's Ace, right? Ace is that guy for me. I am not going to be able to figure out, I shouldn't say that because I can figure anything out. I know I'm not going to do the things he's doing with editing and getting this show off the ground and pushing all that. I could do what he's doing if I wanted to. I know my time is better spent here and putting him in that spot, and I'm just better. So there's other things like that too that I realized with you. Hey man, those things he's telling me to do, I'm just not going to do them. Not that I don't want to. I just know that that's not my strong suit. I'm going to find someone else to do them or hand that off or delegate or whatever. Being better at delegating because the things have to be done. Right.
Correct.
So figuring that out was huge for me. That was a big takeaway for me. Right. The business side, the meeting to certain people. I've met certain people. I've gotten clients from it. That's the long game.
Yep.
Right. But in the short term, it was like, okay, it's figuring these things out. And that was huge for me. Because people ask me, man, they why is that worth that much money, man? Is it really? I'm like, well, yeah. Because this is
you're using
part
it.
Of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's going to be worth whatever you make it worth, man.
The other question I want to ask you, like, what are some things you've had to? What are some audibles you've figured out with coaching, or if anything you've changed in how you coach because of things we've had, interactions we've had, or?
Yeah, great question.
Because I am different. I know that I'm different, and that's
Yeah, but you're kind of cut from the same cloth I am. So like
we are.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Other people you coach, I don't see very many people, on this planet like that we're like, right? So now for you to coach someone else like I think you're coaching a version of me. You're coaching a version of you is what I mean to say.
Yeah, like for you, it's just, how do I say it? you're so good at the immediate. It's getting you to still make sure you pay attention to the bigger picture of base hits.
Right.
So when we talk about celebrities, when we talk about big fish, whether they're celebrities or corporations and people that want to work with you, like there's some stuff, and you're so good at the immediate, but like base hits of like, hey man, you meet 100 realtors, and these 100 realtors spend fucking $50 with you.
Yep.
That's significantly bigger over time than just this one guy spending $100,000 with you. But in the moment, this one guy spending $100,000 is dope, and you don't want to miss it.
Right.
But it's like cool. But then it's like, hey, let's just get organized and intentional with our calendar.
Processes, right.
Yep. So it's like, hey, we're not going to miss this guy that's spending $100,000.
Sure.
We're not going to miss this guy spending $500,000. But we've got to get super dialed with our intentions and our time blocking and managing our time through calendar to make sure that guy gets scheduled appropriately, but then we're still over here making sure we're taking care of these guys. But then these guys, it's like, well, 100 people, that's a lot of applications. That's a lot of it's like, yep.
Yeah.
But then we have a caretaker inside the business that manages your portfolio that can manage these folks. So after you're done with your initial meets, your initial experience, they still get a client experience from the company, but it doesn't necessarily require you to do every single call for these folks. So, hey, you can still hunt these big fish, but let's just not get sidetracked from this bigger picture. And it's really just because this is your skill set over here.
Yeah.
You're a hunter. So like to get you focused on this, it's like, fuck, but see, that's where I have business. I'm a hunter, but I've got an Eli.
Yep.
And that's where things are solidified and sustainable to where we're building 5 different lanes of our business now, yet I still get to go hunt. So really, man, like the only challenge has just been, hey, I know this is fucking broccoli over here, but we got to build it because this is actually bigger than this. Yeah. But we got to find time to establish it. And then in the beginning, it's you doing a lot of it until you're replaced with it. But it's like, dude, it's so different than like when you're looking at people with money. It's like anytime there's a long-term investment that's better, but it's going to take a while.
It's everybody.
No one wants to do it right now because it's going to take a while to reap the benefit.
Insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, HCG takes a while. Fucking, hey, you want to invest on this property, but the payout's not for 7 years.
Yep.
You start thinking of where else this money burn a fucking hole in your pocket could go to.
Yep.
And then you do that. So like for you, like you're so good at hunting, it's like to leave that dopamine, to leave that chase for a minute to build this.
Yep.
It's just
it's painful, and it is painful, but that's part of doing it. It's like, yeah, it sucks. I know I'm smart enough to know it's worth it, regardless of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's just
for like you and I, like where the biggest bang for buck is, like I feel like I help you scale with like the mindset of that. And I help you scale when it comes to, hey, how are we really influencing people to understand the impact of what you do?
Huge for me because that was never, man, I always thought my Facebook and my Instagram was, dick jokes and grab ass and deadlift videos, right? Like that's in concerts, right? That's what I use. Like, I want people to see what I'm doing for the fun part, but I don't want to even know about my work. That's me. I don't want people to see that. Now it's
you,
exactly,
you selfish motherfucker. Yeah.
Now it's like, well, there's currency in people seeing what I'm doing. And the more people that can see what I'm doing, the more people I can help.
Well, dude, how many people have you helped because they saw it? Like, oh, shit, like that can help me. And it's important.
It's getting bigger by the day. And it's like, I never wanted to be an influencer. I didn't, even this podcast, right? Going back to our anniversary of the day I met you.
Yep.
And I attended the event.
You don't think that's God's work that put us on the anniversary?
Nah, it's Satan, if anything. If anything, it's Satan. It's not God.
Come on, Ace. It's not God a little bit.
No. So I think that let's hear what Ace's take is on that.
What do you want to hear from me?
I want
Fuck him. Fucking ass. Yeah.
Divine intervention. I think
okay, where does that come from?
Slayer's record from 94.
Stop it. Slayer's a gift from God too.
Oh, fucking hell.
Amazing music, buddy. But no man, like here's where it's fun. Is between in-person events.
Yeah.
And online social media stuff and just different referral, and just really connecting the dots and bringing it all together and creating brand. Like that's what we're doing now.
Brand building is huge, and it's one of those things where I know what I'm doing is helping people, but if they don't know it, what the fuck does it matter?
And just coming full circle with like, where do you find people and how do you funnel people, right? Like
that's where
people seeing you in person when they don't know you and having the impact of you being able to speak to them and influence them, then brings them to your social media or to a webinar where you're teaching more shit. And then from that webinar, it brings them to your social media, or from social media, they see your webinar, they go to your webinar. From that webinar, they're getting more education. And then that takes them to a phone call meeting with you.
Yep.
And that comes into your discovery call of what they're looking for, which turns into an actual converted client. Like it's connecting all of these dots, man, and people understanding, or like you starting to really understand where does increased business come from at scale? Not because your fucking mom's cousin, sister wants life insurance.
Right.
It's like, no. I want to increase more people at scale. So where does more humans come from at scale? And it's this.
Part of the
this is
reason
how
it was
works.
hard for me to buy into that because I had such a backbone of clientele being a lineman, right?
Yep.
That was that. Much of my early success led to my struggles, right? Because here I have this warm market that trusts me because just by the nature of me being a journeyman lineman will say, hey, I trust him enough. Let's do this. And that was where it was very transactional. Very, hey, dude, I don't care about your life story. I know I need this. I trust you, your lineman. Let's go. So I built my business. The first year of that was like, oh, these guys just want to, it's dollar. It's,
For sure.
If it makes dollars or if it makes sense, it makes dollars, right? So let's do it. Then I was like, okay, well, to branch out in a different market, this realtor doesn't know me from anybody. I'm just some other dickhead out there. So now how do I make that?
And realtors get sold to all day. Other people get sold to all day.
Everybody does, right? No one likes a salesman. So now it's like, okay, linemen were easy. And I built my backbone on that, got very successful, got my reps in. Now how do I scale that with other markets? Linemen are not the only people in this world that make money.
And you got to be a different level and a different version of yourself. You got to be more. You got to have a capacity for more. You got to be able to deliver a different product for different audiences. And like your lineman success out the gate, man, is like a fastball, right? Like
it was.
Like, dude, I had a really good fastball.
Well, it's the other way. It's like me as a hitter. It's learning. It's being able to hit a fastball, and all of a sudden the curveball.
Or opposite,
comes.
Opposite is like, because I feel like you're the pitcher because you're initiating business. Hitters more, right?
Sure.
Even though it's offense, you're kind of playing defense with the pitches thrown.
Okay.
But it's like you had a really good fastball. So did I.
Yep.
In literal form. And you know we're having a really cool fastball. You know where it's cool?
High school.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
You get into a higher level, everybody fucking throws above 90. And if you don't have anything else and have it under control, you go down 2-0, 3-0, everyone knows you're throwing it. And they're going to hit that ball a fucking mile. I've got some balls that have been hit on me. I don't even know if they've landed yet, buddy. they're still in orbit.
Space,
But you got to learn from going from a thrower. Hey, I'm talented. I'm left-handed. I got a hard throw. And you call yourself a pitcher. You're not a pitcher.
Right.
Pitcher's
same with me with business.
Pitcher is capability in conjunction with mentality and approach. It's all of it. There's a mindset in conjunction with ability that creates a pitcher. Right? There's a team behind a pitcher. Like, so for you building your business, it's like lineman is your fastball. Boom, I got it. But it's like, hey, cool, but you're not a thrower. You want to be a pitcher. So what are your other pitches going to be? Now you're diving into real estate, you're diving into lenders, you're diving into other industries where people could benefit from this. And it's like, cool. And then you got a coach behind you, calling plays, helping you call pitches, right? So it's like now you're developing this full circle. Like, hey man, I'm a pitcher.
What I didn't have in those other markets was rapport.
100%.
With linemen, I have instant rapport. Which I was leaning on that. I was leaning on my fastball too much.
Dumb linemen just listening to you.
Just we're fucking cavemen, right? It's like the Marines, but dude. Better.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you make more money. That's for sure.
That's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably smash more chicks, but you guys make more money.
we smash more trucks.
Yeah, probably.
Wreck a lot of trucks.
Dude, I don't know. You ever seen Humvees and 7 tons get smashed?
Well, we've seen. Yeah. Oh shit. But it was cool because, you know, with the military background that you have and a blue collar background that I have, it's pretty similar. And especially as linemen, we have a lot of military guys that go right into line work because of the camaraderie, similarities, and the dark humor. And the normalizing a difficult situation or a dangerous situation. It's like, yeah, this is just normal. If we do this, we're dead.
100%.
That's okay. That's not okay, but we normalize it because that's how we get through the day.
100%.
So the dark humor and the trauma bonding and all that shit, it's so correlating to that. And then when I get out of it, and I'm sure you had this moment too, when you got out of military, you probably realize, holy fuck, that's not a normal way to live life.
No.
And getting out of line work, I had that moment.
Dude, I'll look back on some of that, or like, Kate will ask me something like, hey, did you do some of the stuff? Yeah. And she's like, and I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know why I did it.
I don't even know how I did it.
Because I was in the moment, that sounded like,
dude, I was afraid of heights. I didn't know how to swim until boot camp. Never shot a rifle till boot camp. So some of the things I accomplished, I just like, I was so young, dumb, and full of cum. Like, ignorance let me go through some of that shit.
Well, for me, it was one of the epiphanies I had was the hours. Seeing the amount of hours I worked on paper. Like, whoa, 4,000 hours a year?
Holy shit.
I was getting excited for that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I was getting excited. Well, as a lineman, we always openly talk about money because we all knew what we made hourly.
You're only there for money.
Exactly. So so when you'd brag about how much money you made, you're bragging about how much hours you worked.
Ah, okay.
So it's a multiplier. It's hourly, right?
Yeah.
So when I realized, man, I'm making $350 a year. Cool. But how many fucking hours am I working? Now I'm maxed out. I can't work. I can't physically work anymore. So when I realized that, like, man, if I want to go more, I can't can't do this. So like,
can't scale it.
So one of the things I've recently come to a realization of people ask me for advice. I'm like, my new advice for people in trades or any kind of blue collar, any kind of W-2 job is don't work overtime. Refuse all overtime and use that same amount of time to work on yourself in a side hustle, develop another skill, take some training, learn sales, get a realtor's degree, whatever you can do.
But dude, here's what's so crazy, man.
Like, the overtime is golden handcuffs.
Sure. Because then you end up buying a second vehicle.
Yep.
Or end up buying a fucking jet ski or a fucking boat, and now you got to pay for that boat. So now you need the overtime in order to live versus being extra.
I lived it, and it's like,
yeah, bro.
That's my advice. That's why people ask me, dude, work 40 hours and put that same. Don't be a lazy bum.
But the eighth wonder of the world, right? Is like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
People know what to do, bro. Like
it's human nature.
You could get people significantly out of shape to come in here and tell you and I what to do to get in better shape.
Yeah.
They know what to do. Mm-hmm. People know to like, hey, don't be doing that. Do this. Like, it's not so much like, dude, people know what to do. It's getting them to get them fucking selves to do it.
Yeah.
It's that, bro. It's like, it's not lack of resources. It's not lack of knowledge. At least for getting going, right? Like as we get upper echelon business, there's talent, there's capacity for certain things. Yeah. But we're not talking about making an extra $400,000 a year. Everyone can do that. It's like, and everyone has ideas and has a lot of great things to say about it. It's like, people know what to do. It's getting them to get off their ass and go to the gym. But they know what to do there. Yep. But we'll rationalize I don't know what to do. So, hey, should I do this or should I do that? Listen, man, pick shit up, put it down. Mm-hmm. Pick it back up, put it back down. Yeah. Pick it back up, put it back down.
Move your feet more than your mouth.
Drink some water.
Yeah, drink some water.
Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down, right? Pick you up, put you down. Like do some fucking burpees. I don't know. Eat less than than you burn. Like it's that, man. It's eat less, exercise more. Like, people know, but it's like for some reason there's just something about people not being able to get themselves to actually do it.
There is some of that. There's a lot of that. But there's also education as how they're brought up. And some people just think that the only way to make more money is to work more overtime. They just don't know. So some of those things, and it's education, how they're brought up, how their parents are, the environment they're in. If the only way, all I can do is build power lines, and for me to work a Saturday, I'm going to miss my kids.
It's also easy and convenient.
It is.
Like least amount of friction. If I just go, man, I got to study and get licensed to have a real estate license, or I got to make 100 fucking calls just to try to fucking find an off-market property to flip. Or I could just go to work right now and make $120 an hour. Overtime, time and a half, double time.
Yeah.
They're taking the bait for the now.
That's what it is. It's that bait that's going to keep you here, though.
But it's at every level.
They go from here to here.
Okay.
They'll never get you to here.
So let's use that. Let's go back to you and I.
Yeah.
You were here. Now you're here, or you're here. Where are you at?
I don't know. Where's here? I mean,
it doesn't matter. Yeah. You were here.
I'm at a different level, and I'm not where I can.
But then you got here. But just like people take the bait of working overtime, you take the